We're live. You got it. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. It's time to go. This is. We were debating on how to start. The one idea was to accidentally be surfing the web for is taxation theft. This guy right here, all we got to do is turn the camera on. You want to give out your phone number to the ladies? Look, the last 2 live streams that I've done, I've deleted. One of them because we made too many jokes about the microphone and it wasn't good. And the other one was, I don't know, it was just embarrassing. So the only goal today, is to not delete the live stream after we finish.
Okay.
But that's a treat for anybody logging on live. If we could be saying something that needs to disappear off the face of the earth shortly after hitting the stop button, we might realize, oh, that was a big mistake, and we might delete it. So you could end up seeing something that is inappropriate for public view. We'll see. I don't know. But
on that side of the table.
No. We'll see. Okay, folks. So this is the first of 4 shows that we are doing, and right now you're getting to see magic happen. This is amazing. So what we're going to do is go through a handful of things. We're going to give away something that you can use on your house, for your house, for free. So get ready for that. We're going to talk about all of the latest scandalous stuff going on with property taxes here in Tarrant County, which that's kind of the most scandalous.
I never thought taxes would be so crazy.
It's super crazy, right?
I mean,
what do you think?
I think taxation is theft.
We need to bring your Batman glasses in here so everybody can see the real you.
The real,
Yeah.
The vengeance.
All right. Okay. So, yeah, it's super crazy. I mean, it's like we've got some wild stuff that's been going on within the past 24 hours. We'll give you a little recap on that. Let's see here. If we can string it all together, we're going to give you a 30-second peek at a 3D tour of one of our listings. And we can talk about some legislative stuff. We're going to go back on the postings that we made asking you for feedback on like what questions you want us to answer. We're going to answer those. And let's see here. What else do y'all want to talk about? It's super planned. It's super regimented. We've got deadlines for every subject and a script for everything. Joel's going to predict the future and tell us all how to make money with the markets in general.
I think it will go either up or down.
Man, this guy's good. This is good. All right, so let's dive into this stuff. All right, so I want to start with the craziest news and scandal stuff. But if we cover that now, do you think everybody's just going to log off?
I think
No.
I think there's a bunch that we're going to talk about. I think you should just start with
Just go crazy?
Yeah.
All right, let's go crazy. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. First thing, I'm going to get into my actual email, which is dangerous, and I'm going to find an email that I sent to a friend of mine, and I'm going to pull it over here to this screen. We're going to share the screen and use this kind of as a visual aid. Good gosh, that's not going to be good. But oh well. Why should I start caring right now? All right, let's go. Present. Share screen. Boom. There we go. All right, it's happening. All right, so here we go. So I gave an agent this morning a little update of what's been going on. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to tell you, just like I told him. Here we go. So the first thing that happened on February the 23rd, Keller voted for a recall to recall the chairwoman of the Tarrant Appraisal District. And then on March 3rd, we had a board meeting at the appraisal district, and in the board meeting, Jeff Law said, we're not going to have a process like, all right, hold on, I'm not doing this good. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about this one at a time. Okay. So here's what happened. I'm going to recap. We started I'm going to go way back to the beginning. I'm revamping this whole thing. So here's like, we can dive into the weeds. I'm going to tell you some scandal stuff that's happened. Like there could be lawsuits happening, that sort of thing. But I think the important thing is people need to know, like, why the heck are we even doing this? Because it seems wild. Like we're a real estate company. Obviously, we're a company full of realtors. So why are we out there talking about recalling the TAD chairwoman? It seems nuts.
It does seem nuts.
Do I hate her?
No, not at all.
Shockingly, no.
No.
So here's the deal. Okay. In 2002, when I started in real estate, and I rode a brontosaurus on the way to, I'm just kidding. I had this idea about what life was going to look like. I said, all right, I'm going to get into real estate and I'm going to get rich, and then I'm going to leave real estate and I'm going to go help all these people. That was the idea. And it didn't happen like that. And so in about 2017, I got the opportunity to hit the reset button and reorganize how our company worked in general. And I said, you know what? This is an opportunity to help. Why don't we just help a lot of people right here, right now, in real estate? Like, we've got a team of expert realtors. We're kicking butt, taking names. Let's figure out how we can become a valuable part of the community and serve people and kind of, take the old Gandhi quote and be the change we want to see in the world, right?
Yep.
And so with that idea, we just thought, okay, how can we serve people and just add value to people's lives and do that in such a way that we might be able to fund our business through this thing and just kind of have this kumbaya environment where we can make a difference here locally, serve people, help people, and make a living while we're doing it, and not just do it at the expense of helping. Like, we're not making money at the expense of other people. We're making money while we're adding value on every single level. That was the idea.
Yeah, we feel good about what we do.
It feels good.
It feels really good.
Does it feel good to you?
Feels real good.
Gosh, who knows, man? I gotta turn it over to him.
Eat a donut. All right.
All right. So here's what we got. So we set out and said, all right, what needs do people have in the community that we're uniquely gifted and able to help with? And property taxes ended up being the big, huge need that everybody needed. And so that's what we started with. We said, okay, we're going to fight for our clients. We're going to fight for our community, and we're going to help people and show people that we actually truly care and that we actually truly want good for them. And it's one of those things that most realtors or most people in business that are service oriented, they're going to say, you can trust us. We have your best intentions in mind, and we're going to fight for you, and we're good. And all these things that you expect anybody to say about themselves, but you always kind of wonder, can I really trust these people? Right. So instead of just saying it, we're in a position where we're saying, we're going to show people that we care, that we're going to work for to help people and show that we're going to fight for you, and we truly do care about you, and we're not just saying it. We're going to go ahead and go first. And by the way, the idea here is that we're going to do it for our clients, but I view all of the people here in our community as our clients. They just don't know it yet. In fact, I mean, we have like 28,000 clients legitimately, but
yes,
the client base is the entire Tarrant County area, and it's everybody that lives here.
and we have folks that call from Austin, Houston. They're all over. They see you on YouTube, and they want to know how to help with their property taxes across the state.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just Tarrant County, but
Yeah,
I mean, we're here to help everybody.
that's it. And we don't care about, like, the goal is to help people. Mm-hmm. And I started out by just teaching people how to do this stuff on their own. And I'm still more than happy to just teach people, but I realized people need more help than that. And so that's how we got into helping people. So here the goal is help our clients, fight for our clients, and do what we can to serve and add value to our clients. And so in the path of that, we've had some roadblocks. And one of those roadblocks was a complaint that Randy Armstrong filed against me saying, I mean, the most recent quote in the newspaper was Randy Armstrong filed a quote saying it's impossible for somebody to help that many people and do it responsibly in a quality way or whatever. And then in the actual complaint, the next sentence was, the second part of that complaint was, Chandler sent us 191,000 pages of evidence for his protest. I'm like, okay, it's a self-proving complaint. Anyway.
I know how to make copies like nothing else.
You're an expert scanner.
The copy queen.
So we just set out on this path to help people, and then this becomes an obstacle, and it's like, okay, well, if the goal is to help people and this is the obstacle, then we've got to get through this obstacle in order to help people. And it's just there is an element of self-defense where if somebody's coming after you, you've got to defend yourself. And ultimately, it's an attack on me, attack on my business, is attack on it's attack on my business, and it's attack on the livelihood that I have. And so I look at that like it's attack on my family. And so yeah, I've got to defend myself vigorously to make sure this all ends well. So just moving that forward, if we're really committed to helping people, it's not just helping people so that we can get a real estate transaction out of it, but we have to know that the help that we're providing can result in somebody seeing through our service that we actually do care, we actually do fight for people, and we're actually really, really good at it. And we're serious about putting our money where our mouth is. We invest, and then we win people's affection. And then they come back and say, hey, look, I buy into this mission. Let's do it. And we were talking about kind of some other companies that kind of operate that way. What were we talking about? There's some examples. What examples did we have?
We said Chick-fil-A. They have a mission, and you love their product.
Mhm.
So there are people that don't know about their mission, and they use the product because it's good.
Yeah.
Eat the product, but yeah. What else? Who's the other people?
Well, we talked about how, like, if you go to Costco or something on a Sunday,
Costco.
you can go and get samples.
You can get a whole meal.
Yeah. If you want a free meal, go to actually Sam's Club at Deli area. I can feed my entire family for $14.
Yeah. So you can walk around, and there are people handing out samples saying this is what we offer, and it's free.
Here's a taste of what we're going to provide,
and it's right back there, and you can buy something else.
So, it's this idea of the business kind of going first, saying we want you to we want to help you. We care about you. We want to help you, and we're really good at it, but you don't have to take our word for it. Here, take a sample, take a taste, and this is what it's all about. And then if they say, hey, there's no strings attached, you can go to Costco and eat an entire meal, and nobody's ever going to kick you out, just based on samples. So,
exactly.
Yeah, it's the same kind of function. But anyway, so how does that end up with us, like with me going to the Keller City Council saying, hey, would y'all consider recalling Catherine Wildman? And by the way, that's the second time I've said her name out loud.
It's been a struggle. You have worked really hard with people. What's your focus? Is we need to get along because we work together.
Mm-hmm.
And how do we help? Because the appraisal district has a job to do.
Mm-hmm.
You have a job to do, and we all have to get together on one page.
Yeah.
So you've worked really hard, and then what happened?
Well, we depend on the appraisal district, and I actually appreciate them. There's so many good employees there. They actually do really good work. Yep. But we have these issues that have hit center stage for me, and the more I get involved in property tax, understanding how screwed up the system is, it's kind of like we cannot expect for that system to change if the people in charge are not facing problems head on. And really, ultimately, the thing that I care about more than anything is not anybody sitting at the table, any employee. I could care less about all those things. I care about the agenda that they have for the board meetings and what's on that agenda. And are we putting problems that need to be addressed on that agenda? And if we are, I'm happy. I'm like, let them deal with their own problems. They're going to, if they're doing a good job facing stuff head on, I don't have a problem. But if that agenda is designed in such a way where we're not addressing important issues that are affecting people, then we've got to get that agenda changed. And the only way to change that agenda is ultimately it was you chase this path down, and it was, we've got to change who's making the agenda, because that person, it's been proven they're not going to change that agenda. So we have to change the person. Mm-hmm. But I would say, as far as the person, I don't have a personal vendetta against anybody. You know, you've got, I've mentioned Randy Armstrong's name a bunch of times, and I don't mind doing that because he attacked me.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate.
Yeah. But and the only reason I mentioned Catherine Wildman's name is because the newspaper printed it everywhere. Else, I would have always just referred to her as the chairwoman. And I will say this for the record: all accounts are she's a great person. All accounts are she has an incredible reputation. She served the city of Arlington really well, and I think that she's probably been a great leader. I don't know her beyond what I've seen at the appraisal district. I just think for the climate of what's going on at the appraisal district, none of those board members expected us to be in a position that we're in today, where they have. I mean, it's pretty insane.
Did not see that coming.
No, it's been wild.
Yeah.
And so I think that maybe if we would have started with this environment, somebody else would have probably been in that seat to from the get go. So I think that her skill set is probably just suited for a different environment. That's all it is. So there you go. So I could care less, but you know, I've felt the obstacles that have been in the way are laws that need to be changed, an agenda that needs to be improved. And so I've gone and gone down these paths of trying to help change the laws and change the agenda. And it's so that we can help more and more people. That's it. And help better and not actually put a Band-Aid on it, but actually try and solve the problems.
Right. And
Okay.
when you identify a problem, you want to try and figure out how to fix it, right?
Yeah, I want to help. I want to help people right here, right now, with the problem, because that's what it's all about. Is your personal experience. I don't care about legislators having a feel good session about telling people all these things that they're going to do, and then they actually don't do anything. It's like, well, wait a second, you can actually help these people right now.
Right now,
it just takes the politicians aren't going to do that, so it takes a guy like me to do that. But we can then say, all right, now we can be that person in the middle that says, all right, politicians, here's what we expect to see. And then when we can take issues like we've done and bring them to the surface, then we actually see change on stuff that's going to affect people. Anyway, all right, so let's get into this. So that led me to go to the Keller City Council and say, hey, would you consider recalling Catherine Wildman? They voted 7-0 to initiate the recall. And those people...
But it wasn't just the fact that you went and spoke to them. I mean, you think you have that much power, but do you really?
What are you trying to say? What are you? No.
If only.
They're all reasonable people. If there wasn't a problem, they would not have voted that way.
I would say they're beyond reasonable. Like, yeah. I don't know what all of them do for a living, but I know that there's 3 attorneys that are on that board, including the mayor himself. So it's like, these are people that obviously understand the law.
They have things going on that they understood. And I think, yeah. Okay.
They operate at a high level. When they see a problem, they analyze it with a framework and a context beyond what my understanding is. So I can see, just like me and everybody here, we can see when there's a problem, we can see it, but to know how to navigate to actually solve the problem, or like it takes somebody that really understands the law. So they voted 7-0 for the recall. All right. So then what happened the day after that? The chairwoman resigned. Okay, so now we've got a recall and then a resignation, and the process to fill the open seat is completely different for each path. So
and it gets more complicated.
Well, here's the thing. When someone resigns, the board members at TAD pick their own replacement, basically.
Is weird.
Weird and...
Weird.
Right, so you're not going to say the word you really want? No, you're smart. You're smart. There. Weird and messed up. I'll say that.
Yeah.
For them to pick their own replacement. It's like the way that this is designed is for taxing entities who represent the people to be able to pick somebody that they feel like is going to represent the people that they serve. And if the board is picking their own replacement, they're circumnavigating that whole process.
Right.
So that happened on the February 21st, Keller voted for the recall. On the 22nd, the chairwoman resigned. And so now we've got a recall process that started, that where voters would get their representation because taxing entities would get to vote people on the board, or the resignation, which the board members do. All right. So then everybody starts saying, well, what's going on here? It seems weird. Well, then on March the 3rd, the appraisal district had a board meeting so that they could just discuss the fact that we've got two of these processes. The law doesn't really define what happens when you have two of these processes running concurrently. And leading up to that board meeting, everybody knew that there was this confusion and ambiguity. I think that the simple thing that would have solved all of this from the get-go, oddly enough, would have been for the chairwoman to rescind her resignation, go ahead and let the recall happen. It would clarify everything, make sure that all the interests of everybody involved would be taken care of. That didn't happen. In fact, at that board meeting, the chairwoman showed up and conducted the meeting as the chairwoman. And the rule that was cited was there's a holdover rule in the Constitution that talks about how if there's in a situation kind of like this, that person could sit there until their replacement is named. So some people said that doesn't really apply to this. Some people said it does. It doesn't matter. That's what happened. In that board meeting, Jeff Law, chief appraiser, said, we've got this problem with both of these processes that have started. Neither one supersedes the other. Okay, so and I'll tell you, the craziest conspiracy theory that was said from the very beginning of this was that people are going to try to finagle this so that the board can nominate and vote on the chairwoman to fill the seat, like to get her back on the board. That was the speculation from the beginning from people. And quite frankly, I didn't give it any validity at all. I thought it was a little bit crazy. And I thought, surely not. It sounds whack. Well, then after that, the commissioner's court put it on their agenda to the Tarrant County Commissioner Court put it on their agenda to consider the recall, which is a big deal.
Well, I was impressed with all the items on the commissioner's court agenda. I mean, they do a lot of big stuff.
Yeah, they do.
It was eye-opening. It's huge, the importance that this commissioner's court has.
They have a lot of power.
It's awesome.
Ton of power.
Yeah.
And all the cities know it. And
it's countywide. It's not just one.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
The commissioner's court represents us, the citizens of Tarrant County, and they're on there because we voted them on there. And quite frankly, I didn't know what to think of these commissioners or the judge. I hear reputation, I hear stuff in their campaigns, but it's like this is the moment where I get to have a personal experience, getting to see, while I'm there in the meeting, getting to see how they rule on these different items, how they talk to each other, how they conduct the meeting.
Impressive.
Yeah,
it was super impressive.
It was impressive.
Very
it felt buttoned up, didn't it?
Buttoned up, lots of sharp people presenting, and they handle a lot of different community things and money and decision.
A lot of money.
Heavy decision making, and a lot of respect for these people.
Mm-hmm.
I was super impressed.
So one thing that I found really odd is that leading up to this meeting, I heard rumors that the chairwoman and the previous judge, Glenn Whitley, were making phone calls to the commissioner's court people and making phone calls. I don't know to who else, and I just thought that sounds crazy. But I heard it from multiple sources. So I thought there's something to this. I want to say it out loud. I want to tell people about it because I think that it's significant. You've got a situation here where I'm concerned about fairness in the system so that we can solve problems and the interest of the citizens and the taxing entities being represented and not circumvented. And now we've got somebody who's already submitted the resignation making almost like campaign phone calls is what it felt like. And then, but I don't know, to be fair, I don't know. I wasn't in on any of those phone calls. And then we hear that the previous outgoing judge is in this. And I'm like, why is the old judge making phone calls? He's a private citizen, has the right to do so. If he's got a relationship with the chairwoman, I think that, that's a good friend. He's making phone calls. So like kudos to him. And so what I did was I said, before I go out there slinging mud, I don't care to sling mud. I don't have any bone to pick with anybody, but I'm the guy in this that I don't have a political agenda. I don't have political ambitions. So when I'm sitting here weighing, here's some facts that I think are really relevant that people need to know about. Star Telegram and all these other publications aren't going to report on it. CBS is not going to do a story to say the old judge and the chairwoman are sitting there making phone calls after she's resigned. They're not going to say that.
But it's an important part of the story.
It's important because it starts to shape intentions, maybe, or values or something. What does it say to you? What does it say to you?
It just, for me, it just raises eyebrows. You want to know why.
Did you want to know why? What's up?
And because I don't know how this process works, and you were learning the process, you just wonder, and you want to think good of people, but from what you've been through in the last year, it's really hard to know.
It's obvious not everybody has good intentions.
Yeah.
But the reputation of these people are good reputation. Might disagree with some of their stances on stuff. So I'm thinking I need to give them the respect and give them benefit of the doubt. So I actually picked up the phone, called Ms. Wildman, and I called Judge Glenn Whitley. Glenn Whitley, if you want to find that dude's cell phone number, you can.
Yeah.
And if you want to call him and have a conversation, he will pick up the phone and talk with you.
Yeah.
And to me, that's an upstanding guy. To me, that's very respectable. And I made sure to give him credit. Now, I still am like, it still seems weird he's making those phone calls, but he has every right to do so. He's not hiding. He's accessible. And he sat on the phone with me while I really grilled him for about 20 minutes, asking him every question I could think of.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, that's great. That's awesome.
That's amazing.
That's what we want in elected officials.
Yes,
So I'm not, even if I disagree with his stance, I can still respect him. So all that happened. All right. Commissioner's Court then voted in favor of the recall 4-1. That happened on March the 7th. Okay, this is where it starts getting kind of whack. But all right, let's pause right here for just a second. I sent an email out saying, guys, can y'all go to these meetings? Can y'all make your voice heard? And everybody responded. And by the way, that's the only reason why anybody listens to me is because I represent so many people. That's it.
Yeah.
And now here's the other thing. That's not just it. It is my name, but the only reason my name has any significance is because of a certain set of values that I represent. And we all want those values. And we all want people that stand up for those values. And then we're going to identify who those people are that are standing up for those values and what name is attached to that. It's not about me, it's about the values. And I can guarantee you, if I don't continue to adhere to those same values, my name's not going to mean anything. Actually, the meaning of my name will change. It will reflect the value. So I don't, that's not lost on me. And that's how I select the kind of people that are in our company. It's the same people where I say, do you represent the same values? And if we do, then I say, you represent the same things that my name represents, and I'm comfortable with you representing me. And in fact, we've got a list of people a mile long wanting to get into this company, and very few people get in because I actually care.
Well, I can say, I was a stay-at-home mom for 10 years, and I looked for a place that was worthy of my time away from my family now, and it truly is. So I look for a place that has values for me, and you give all of us a place that we can give the community what we want to represent with our families and our neighbors. And I really, truly enjoy talking to everybody when they call the office, and I want to help them. And you've given me the training and the understanding that has empowered all of us to keep up this good fight. And it's exciting.
Well, and so the thing is all I can do is luck out to find someone like these guys and like our agents. All I can do is luck out to that. Then whenever I get somebody on board, when it becomes clear that we aren't aligning, the only power I have is to get rid of that person. So luck out to find the good ones and don't tolerate the bad ones. And then that's it. That's how we do so much. We do a ridiculous amount of stuff. It's because we have incredible people. And that's it. All right. I could talk forever about this. We're going to, let's just, I've said all that to say it is so incredibly refreshing to have these politicians stand up and say the things that they've said and stand up for people, and they deserve recognition. And I've said, hey, we need to call these people and ask them to take action. And it's kind of, yes, we're trying to solve a problem. We're trying to move in a positive direction, but a recall is it's kind of a negative thing. It has a negative vibe to it, even though it's kind of like, a divorce could be a step in a healthy direction if you're in an abusive situation in that way. But gosh, I probably shouldn't come up with an analogy. I'm deleting this live stream. But here's what I want to urge. I want to urge everybody to, instead of just taking action on the negative side or demanding attention, say we're the taxpayers, you represent us, you owe us this and that. The cool thing is, these people are public servants and they are real people, and they represent many of the same values that we care about, and we need to thank them. That's what we've got to do.
Yes.
Is if you can, go find their social media pages, find their Twitter pages, find their Facebook, and go thank them and make that seen. Let everybody, and if you don't want to make it public, then send them an email. But let's not just be the citizens that are asking and expecting without reflecting the same values of appreciation and gratitude that we want. We honestly want them to be grateful for the positions that we've elected them to be in. We want them to care, but we shouldn't just be always demanding without showing our own appreciation.
Yes, they work really hard. And I saw in both meetings with Keller City Council and the Commissioner's Court, they handle a lot and they help in various ways and make lots of big decisions. And this is just one of them. Yeah. And it was awesome.
And when they vote for a recall like that, especially for somebody that's been around for so long, they're actually voting against, like, they're taking friendships, throwing it out the window and saying what is right in this circumstance. And it takes guts, it takes leadership, it takes courage for them to do that. They need appreciation. Yeah. And here's the thing. On the Commissioner's Court, we had Judge Glenn Whitley, Judge Tim O'Hare, Elisa Simmons, Roy Brooks, Manny Ramirez all vote for the recall. Those are people with completely different ideologies, political philosophies. This is not this is a bipartisan issue. This is something where it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from. It's the right thing. We need to thank them. All right, let's just get back on the meat. Sorry. All right. So the Commissioner's Court voted 4-1 for the recall. That was on March the 7th. Then on March the 9th, the taxing entities received a letter, and I'm going to share my screen because I think this is kind of cool. All right. Share screen.
Can you make this part bigger on the share screen?
Yeah, I'll try. We'll figure it out. Okay. So on March the 9th, the taxing entities received a letter. Let's see here. Boom. And this is what it was. So it says, it just acknowledges that the city of Keller created this recall, or the city of Keller voted for the recall. Then the chairwoman resigned, and there's two different processes. In the meeting on March the 3rd, Jeff Law said neither process supersedes the other, but then he sends this letter out that the taxing entities received, I think, yesterday. And in this letter, it says, right here, this last sentence, since the recall, it's not letting me highlight, it's the last sentence right here of the next to last paragraph. It says, since the recall process was only initiated, it is now canceled as a result of the vacancy.
What?
And so what that means is he's trying to say that the process to fill that seat is going to be the resignation process, meaning that the appraisal district board of directors are going to select their own replacement.
That's not what happened at the meeting last week.
The meeting on Friday, yeah, it was completely contrary. Check this out. Here's the weird thing. This was received by the taxing entities, I think, yesterday. It was either yesterday or the day before. Up here, it has a date of March 3rd, but it just made it in the mail like yesterday. The mail runs quicker than that. So anyway, it's weird. The timing of this thing is weird. And Mr. Law talks about how he kind of puts the ownership of this decision on the appraisal district's attorney that provides counsel to the board. He's trying to say that guy said it's canceled. I really, really don't think that he said that. And now I don't know for sure. I mean, I could be wrong. But I heard what was said at the board meeting. The attorney's sitting right there. He's nodding his head. He's agreeing. And he's saying neither process supersedes the other. And so you've got this come out, and that's pretty crazy.
I thought it was they're both moving at the same time,
Yeah.
and the taxing entities had to decide what they wanted to do.
Yes.
It was up to the taxing entities.
Yes. And they were going to remain
But this
neutral.
sounds like they're not.
Yeah. So here's the cool thing. Like, whenever I've worked to change a law, this isn't just Chandler's crazy idea. There's a state representative who is Matt Krause who helped to write the law. Then it's got to be submitted through a committee. It's got to pass the committee. It's got to get passed on the House, get passed on the Senate, and then the governor's got to sign it. And so that's a ridiculous amount of people, and all the people that they represent have to approve this. Same thing happens here. None of this stuff happens without a ton of people saying, yeah, this is a good idea. This is the direction we need to move to. So it just happens. Now, all right. So the cool thing is, because of that, the city of Keller got that letter and they said, that's crazy. And we're not okay with that. And here's what we're saying in response. This is a letter that the mayor of Keller, Armin Mazzani, wrote to the chief appraiser, Jeff Law. And he's saying, we just got a copy of this letter saying that that one process is canceled, which basically says that the taxing entities are going to get hosed and not have representation on that board. And so the mayor says this: let me be clear, the city of Keller will not stand idle. We are prepared to take any legal action necessary to ensure taxpayer voices are not silenced. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right? What do you think about that, Joel?
It's like they invited a lawsuit. It's the craziest thing in the world. If you have, you can't just say, hey, I don't want to play by these rules anymore. I'd actually like to take my ball and go home. Not really how the government works, or should it work?
Yep. And this right here, this is what a true leader does.
Yeah.
This is somebody that says, you know what? I'm standing up for the people I represent. And so we need to thank the Keller City Council and Mayor Mazzani they're just awesome. And you can't, anyway. So he's saying, we're not going to have that. That's baloney. And you can get prepared for a fight. So here's the cool thing. I know all the crazy stuff that's been happening. I'm involved in a lot of it because I've been the target, right? But it's not about me. It's about the people. And all I'm doing is now, or what these guys are doing is they are now fighting for the people too. And so is Tarrant County. So this whole fight is gone several rungs of the ladder above me. And now it's now what the appraisal district is now telling the county commissioner's court, saying, thanks, but no thanks. You're getting cut out of this deal. And they're picking a fight with them. And I promise you,
that's a powerful
it's not good.
People.
Yes.
They have way more important things to deal with than someone saying, we don't want to listen to you.
Well, and you can like or dislike Tim O'Hare. I think one thing everybody would agree on is you definitely don't want to be on the opposite side of a fight from that dude. The guy's he's somebody that represents Tarrant County.
Yeah.
Everything he said in his campaign was like, he was saying what he was going to do, and it was believable because it was stuff that was going to make people, like, not everybody would agree with. He wasn't trying to make anybody happy. Well, now he's
saying, see what happens.
He's saying, I'm going to stand up and do what's right. And I'll tell you what, I know Elisa Simmons feels the same way. I've talked with Manny Ramirez. That guy is by the book. He's straight up. And these are people that take their job serious. And this isn't going to go well for the appraisal district.
And now we're spending more taxpayer money on ridiculous things.
Yeah. All this for what? To keep raising taxes?
Right?
The craziest thing in the world to me. Why do you care so much?
That's a good point.
Don't they all live here? They have to pay the same taxes too.
Oh gosh, there's
the craziest thing.
What's going on? But I just noticed your last bullet there.
Yeah. So then
wow.
Yesterday,
What?
it was published that the guy that filed all the complaints on me put in his letter of resignation. So April the 14th will be Randy Armstrong's last day.
Wow.
And I think it's really interesting because everybody's going to get their property value notice on the 15th. So he's resigning the day before. I don't know if he knows that that's because bad news is coming, or maybe he's, give him benefit of the doubt. Maybe he's just going to hang in there until he kind of gets all the hard work done and, sets them up in a good spot. I'm sure something like that. Anyway, all this stuff to me is really scandalous.
It just doesn't feel good. I don't know.
It feels wacky.
It feels very wacky.
But I'll tell you, in the midst of this, there are some good things that I'm seeing. We're seeing these politicians that, let's just be honest. Like, I don't trust a politician until they give me a reason to trust them. And these guys are giving me reasons to trust them.
I do feel some hope. I do.
And it's not along party lines. It's about them saying this authoritarian establishment, good old boy system is, if it goes against representing the people, we're standing on the side of the people. And it's like, no matter what you think, that's what we want our politicians to say. So
it's really great to have people who represent you, who have values that align with yours, and are willing to fight for those values that are your values, and they put that higher than their own self-interest.
I think you just gave the definition of the politician we want.
Yeah.
In any office, anywhere. Yeah. So go thank those people, please. We've got to make sure they know that we love them. All right. Let's talk about some other stuff. Or do y'all have any other questions on this stuff before we move on?
I don't know. Does anyone?
There's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
Well, is there anyone that you wanted to see if they had questions?
Check questions. Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Just before you move on, or
yeah, let's just see. All right, so let's scroll through and see what questions we have. Yeah, there's other stuff. I'm going to tell you this. So Keller came out with this letter saying we're not going to put up with this. I've heard rumblings that the commissioner court is not going to sit by idly on this. I don't know what they're going to do, but pay attention. Today is their day to respond. If they're going to respond, if it waits till tomorrow, it's probably too late. So you just be on the lookout for that. And also, I mean, there's other stuff going on. It's going to come to light, and it's going to be super crazy. So I wish I could talk about it. It's just, just stay tuned. There's some really, really crazy stuff. I'm not seeing a whole lot of questions, but
all right, well,
did the person that voted no give any? So Jason asked, did the person that voted no? So there was on the commissioner's court, it was a 4-1 vote. Here's my take on this. I don't want to say anything negative about anybody unless it's necessary. And so the dude that voted against the recall, I'll just say he's been on the commissioner's court for a long time, and he knows the chairwoman. He knows the history of the chairwoman. And so I think he's voting more for the character of the person that he knows. And I can't put words in his mouth, but I'm just kind of giving him benefit of the doubt. I don't have anything against the guy. I don't have anything against anybody here. And I think that what we need to do is we need to reinforce the behavior that we want to see. So let's just give the positive feedback and make sure that the people that are doing the right thing get the praises that they need.
Did they discuss anything publicly?
Nope.
Okay.
So Tim O'Hare made some quotes in the Star Telegram that were super awesome. And it's the same kind of thing that Armin Mazzani's doing, where he just stands up and says this thing that everybody else is thinking that we would hope our leaders would say. He was quoted on that. You'd have to look at the Star Telegram article. I don't have it at my fingertips.
Okay.
But,
so it was all the discussion was in executive session.
Yeah.
And then no public comments.
No public comments. Yeah. Not until afterwards. And then they started, talking to the newspaper reporters. Okay. So let's go talk about another thing. Okay. People have been asking about what's going to happen with interest rates and with the real estate market and that sort of thing. I made a bold prediction earlier this month that interest rates were going to go down on about March the 14th or 15th, somewhere in there. One of the reasons why I picked that date is because of today. On March the 10th, there's supposed to be a jobs report that's going to come out, and the interest rates are going to be affected by that to some degree. It's already come out. It came out this morning. There were like 311,000 jobs that were added. It was this The response there was about what everybody was thinking. Then in a couple of days, there's going to be some kind of inflation number that's going to come out. To be honest with you guys, I don't know anything about any of this stuff. Like, I know enough to kind of understand it in my own head, but whenever I'm going to come out with a prediction like that, really, I don't make any money off predicting the future. I'm going to help people no matter the circumstances and try and look for the opportunities and the risks in the market, no matter what's going on. But I just turn to the people that actually do study this stuff for a living, figure out which ones I can trust, and then I largely just repeat what they say. So if I'm wrong, it's not me. But Joel, on the other hand, studies this stuff, and he's going to predict all sorts of things. What are you seeing, Joel?
The more the stock market goes down, the more money I make. I'm purely self-interested.
There you go.
I don't think even the Fed knows which way it's going to go. I think they make the educated guess at best, and I'll give them the benefit of the doubt in saying that. But hopefully, I mean, people are always going to need to move. There's always going to be buying and selling houses. Interest rates are always going to be what they are, and you're always going to need a place to live. And why are you paying your landlord's mortgage when you could be paying your own?
There you go.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, and like the only thing that matters is if it only the convenient answer for us is if you need to buy or sell a house, buy or sell a house right now. Like, do it now. And the reason why I can say that is because if interest rates are going up, then you buy now. That's to your advantage. So and then I'll say I know the real estate market pretty well, and home prices are going up. Like over the next several months, they're going to be going up.
They're not coming down.
They're not going to come down. Now, they dropped 10% in the last 6 months, but we're still up about 3% over where we were this time last year. The seasonal changes and the differences in supply and demand are switching around because of the seasonal changes. So now the demand is high, supply is low, and supply is getting eaten up. And so we're going to see prices go up.
So it's a good time to sell your house.
It's a good time to buy or sell. And here's the thing. If interest rates drop, then you refinance later. So there's not a solution you can't purchase a home in the past. No. All you can do is buy it right now. And the only reason why you wouldn't buy right now is there's two things. If you felt like interest rates are going to go down, which that's foolish, because what if they go up instead? Nobody can actually predict the future in this stuff like to 100% certainty. If they go up, then you've just hosed yourself. Yep. If they go down, then you could have still capitalized on them going down if you would have purchased a long time ago and then you refinance. So for the interest rate, it doesn't make sense to wait on that regard. Then on the housing market going, some people might think, oh, I'm going to wait in case the housing market falls apart and we have another bubble.
Well, if you're in an inflationary environment, if the value of the dollar is going down, and it's measured against what you actually have. So you're not taking out a loan against the actual value of the dollar. You're taking the loan against the set number of whatever it is.
The value of the house.
Yeah, the value of the house. And the actual value of the house is going up compared to the value of the dollar. So if the house is going up in value because it's a hard asset, and the amount of money you're paying is going down in value, no matter what, you're going to make money.
Okay. So let's just reverse this for a little bit. If the value of the dollar is going down, and let's say that the value of the house is going down, but it's just not going down as much as what you're focused on is the proportion. Yeah. It's the difference between the rate of decrease or the rate of the delta.
Is that we can talk Greek? Yeah, you're right.
That's a fancy word.
You guys are getting excited.
We talk about Greek. This I don't know. All right. So the point is, and right now when we're heading into spring and summer, then we're home prices are going to go up. Historically, every single recession that's on record, real estate has always done really well, except for the last recession in 2008. I guess there was a mini recession. We're not going to count that, but in 2008, that was a housing bubble recession. It was caused by the housing industry. We don't have the same dynamics. We're not going to see the same thing. So in a recession, real estate does well. In high inflation, you've got housing prices typically go up, right?
Yeah, because it's a hard asset. So if the value of the dollar is being measured against it, it's going up because it's actually a tangible thing. There's never going to be, another house in Tarrant County in that exact same spot and land.
There you go. So can you give some financial advice if somebody's trying to
legally no?
All right. let's talk about this. My wife is calling. She's probably saying, "Shut off the live stream. You've made a bad joke, and we can't. We got to go to church with some of these people. No more jokes about the microphone, please." Okay, that's as close as that. All right. So here's the thing. What's the thing? What's the point I'm getting at, guys? What's going to happen in the future? There you go. Buy now, refinance later. Ride the wave up, and home prices are going to be going up, and hire somebody you trust. Not somebody just tells you that you can trust them, but somebody that has already done some work for you. You know you can trust. All right, there we go. That's coming full circle. All right, so the jobs number. Hey, wait. Yeah, let's get off the nerdy stuff. All right, we'll keep going here. There's one or two things I want to do. Let's try something crazy here. Okay. Joel tell us about your romantic life, Joel.
You ever been disappointed and impressed at the same time? So I feel very familiar.
All right. So Joel is single.
Yeah.
What's off limits to talk about with you?
Oh, I don't know. Problems in my life.
Let's see.
No, I think the biggest thing is the second best time. I was thinking about this the whole time. If you're in the desert and you want some shade, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the second best time is now.
Mm-hmm.
I was fortunate enough. I got a house at 2019, and I've seen a really good return on that. I was fortunate enough. I got locked in at a really good rate, and my parents just got a house, and they're in Tarrant, and they're going to expect the same thing. It's going to be. They love the house, and when rates go down, because they will eventually go down, they're going to refinance. And until then, they're happy with where they're at. And the biggest thing is, I hate paying my rent. I don't mind paying my mortgage. I rent out the house. I don't mind paying my mortgage because I also have somebody else paying it. But I don't mind paying my mortgage. I hate paying my rent because I feel like I'm giving the money away to somebody else.
Okay, well, good news and bad news. I was going to show you guys a 3D tour. We're going to do a 30-second listing thing here, but hold on. Oh, never mind. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, what's the best hedge against inflation?
Borrowing the most amount of money that you possibly can at the lowest interest rate. Because essentially, if the value of the dollar is going to go down, real estate.
I'm like, wrong answer, dude.
The best way to do that is to real estate. If you think the value of the dollar is going down, you want to take as much of it as you can because you're not going to have to pay back the value. You pay back the X amount of dollars. And this 3D stuff is really cool. I actually used to do the scans for all that, and it's a really cool technology and see how it works.
What? So how in the world? Okay, so I've got this second screen over here. What? Okay, I'm not embarrassed by that, but why in the world am I not seeing that? Hold on, we're having a tech issue. Stop sharing. All right, so now I'm going to share the screen. So we're going to do 30 seconds. The next live stream, what we're going to probably do here is, there we go, is I'll have a timer and it'll say like 30 seconds, the 30-second real estate tour. So here's a house that we have. We just dropped the price on it. These are people that listed their house a while back, and as the market's coming back up, what they've done is they just put the house to the listed it at a price where it's causing people to show up. We're going to probably get this one under contract pretty quick, but I just thought I would show it to you real quick. So here's a listing that we have, and the cool thing is on all of our listings we have these 3D tours, and so we can take a look. I can tell you about the kitchen. It's super cool and that sort of thing. But what I want to spend time on is I want to go upstairs. You like the laundry room?
Yeah, I do.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's real nice.
You're having laundry room envy right now?
I just like where it's located. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's cool.
That's
Right.
cool. All right. So what I want to do is I'm going to hit this little button right here and we're going to go check it out. This is pretty cool. All right. We're going to go right there if I can. All right. So I'm climbing the stairs. The unique thing about this house is this layout. So you can see you've got the living room back there. You can climb these stairs and you got a decision to go right or left. On the right side, you've got this little area. It's like a loft where you can kind of have some privacy without being completely cut off from the rest of the house. So
Wow, that's cool.
what would you put in this room? Jennifer, what would you do with this room?
I put my husband's office up there.
Okay. I thought you were going to say, I'm going to lock my husband up there.
There's no door.
Yeah.
No, he needs a separate space for his business and his office.
There you go.
He would love it.
Cool. I think it'd be a great place to have like a game room or like a family computer, like where they might want to be away from everybody else, but you kind of want you don't want a closed door there because you don't want the kids being left alone with free for all internet access. And then you go this way and you've got all the bedrooms. I think it's a cool layout. I think it's going to see this and say, man, that layout really works for my needs for whatever they might be. You know, like a sewing room, a game room, a TV room. It could be any number of things. But anyway, so there you go.
Oh, that was really cool.
If you want to get info on that, the man to call is our expert agent. His name is Brian Cargill. He's been with us for a long time. And his phone number is 817-456-3580, or it's Brian with a Y at chandlercross.com. All right, guys. Okay, so here's one thing we're going to do. I promised we would give something away that you can use on your house. And I reached out to Jennifer. You talked to this guy yesterday, right?
Yes, Henry's so great.
Okay. Do you think that he's okay with me just giving out his phone number? I think so. Actually, we'll just tell you. So there's a guy named Henry May who has an HVAC company. He's been a longtime supporter. He is an awesome dude, and we were looking for somebody that we wanted to promote a local business. And since he's been a big supporter, we're just saying, hey, let's just reach out to him. And it's something that he provides a service for people's houses. So how convenient, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So Jennifer,
Awesome.
what is Henry willing to give for free to people listening right now?
Well, he would love to give you a service call.
A service call.
Yep. Get ready for summer.
Yeah. You know what? This is the perfect time to do that with weather warming up. Everybody's turning on their AC for the first time, or like maybe the third time, and then shut it off and turn it back to heat.
Yes, heat and air. Yep.
Yeah. So do you have any idea the value of a service call?
I don't.
If you were to guess, Joel, what would you guess?
$200 US.
200 US.
All right. So if you are interested in getting a free service call, this is something that costs money. It's a value that you would have to pay for. We don't know the cost of it. Haven't talked to Henry about it, but it is a valuable service that you can get for free. And folks, what do they need to do to get this for free? How do we get them entered into the drawing? Who are we going to give it to? I tell you what, I'm gonna pay attention to the comments. And if somebody can tag,
It's tag.
if somebody can tag one of these
Minnesota.
other politicians that have stood up and done the right thing. And I see Tamara saying, thank you, Armin Mazzani. I want to see somebody tag one of the politicians and say, thank you so much. I see Tamara saying, ooh, Tamara's all over it. Tamara's saying, thank you, Tim O'Hare. Thank you, Armin. That's right. Elisa Simmons. We've got Ross McMullen, Shannon Dubberly, Jessica Juarez. These are all good people. Tag somebody and thank them. The first person to do that is going to get the service call. If you're in DFW area, then the DFW, it's like you should be in the DFW area. If you're not, most everybody's going to be in Tarrant County anyway. So.
You want them to reach out to me so I know?
What do you mean? Well, if somebody tags somebody right now, we're going to see it.
Oh, we're going to see it.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
And then I can.
Or maybe I should come up with something else.
At Tim O'Hare.
At Tim O'Hare? I don't know. At Mark Armin.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I tell you what. There were several questions that people asked, and this has been going. How long have we been on there? About an hour. That feels about right. Somebody asked if I would run for the TAD board, and I think that there's a conflict of interest there. Number one, I have no desire. That's one thing that's freed me up to be able to stick my neck out there, name names, do these things, is because I'm looking at what are my ambitions. My ambitions are to help people, solve problems for the folks, and serve the people, and not to climb the political ladder. And so it's like, I got no risk in this. All these other people at the appraisal district have a job to lose. So that some of them don't speak up, and then you've got other politicians that they have something to lose. So they're like, sometimes, or they have alliances or whatever. They're trying to climb the ladder, so they don't all.
They're playing the game.
They're playing the game. Yep. All right. Well, I tell you what we'll do is, what's another way we could give this away? What do they need to do? Twitter is a place where a lot of politicians go. How about this? Send us a screenshot of you going on one of these politicians' walls and saying thank you. And if you do that, send it to us. Email you.
Mhm.
All right. Email Jennifer@chandlercrouch.com a screenshot of you thanking one of these politicians on their own Facebook wall or Twitter wall or wherever. And if you do that, then how about the first person to do that is going to get a free service call on their HVAC system by Henry May, the man. How's that?
That's awesome.
All right, y'all.
Thank you, Henry.
Yeah. We're going to let Joel run the show next time.
Yeah.
And tune in next time to see which tattoo Joel, what new tattoos Joel has.
Yeah. Got 3 this week. Got child support too. Call me. You want to buy or sell a house? Call the number.
Call us,
help you out.
All right, y'all. Have a good one. Thank you. Anything else before we log off?
Oh, I don't know. Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend. Over and out. Appreciate you guys.
Bye,
Over and
y'all.
out.